they hope by Georgia Tech, but it looks like Miles Oliver is done for the year. But you never know up at Clemson. You let that athletic training staff and then medical staff get their hands on an athlete, they may come back a lot faster than you think. Heck, we may see Adam
They
Randall
heal.
before the season's over.
They heal quickly. But he's a freshman, and I don't know that they were really counting on him to have to step up and play a whole lot this season in their secondary because of what they've already got back there.
Sure.
But yeah, he was an injury. Okay, it was an injury that Oliver had in high school previously, and he's going to have the surgery, and he'll be redshirted this season after the surgery. So he's a good player, good pickup for Clemson, but he won't be available for them this season. But he'll get healthy and be back to help them out next season.
My
So,
guess is
Pat,
if they
tell me
can
what you want
afford
to
to,
do.
if they can afford to absorb an injury, the defensive side of the football is where they can handle that with all
I
that
would say
talent.
so. I would say so. All right, I tell you what. If we would, let's go to U. Speaking of defensive backs, let's go to USC's outstanding defensive back Cam Smith, nickelback corner. We had a chance at the media day the other day to go one-on-one with him for a few minutes. He's a kid that's pretty amazing in that. I remember when he was recruited by South Carolina, and they offered him, and he committed. He wasn't a guy, as I recall, that was, all that highly regarded by people. I don't think, as my memory, tries to remind me of what was going on back then during his recruiting days. Good player, but I don't think he was all that highly touted. But he's made himself into an excellent player in his years at South Carolina, to where now he is considered an All-American type candidate, an All-SEC type candidate, and potentially, like the next J.C. Horn out of a high draft pick if he decides to come out after this year. So we had a chance to go one-on-one with him at the media day recently. Here's that conversation. Cam, how excited are you about the start of practice, the season, all the expectations, all the talk? How ready are you?
For sure, I'm always ready. Missing last camp with that foot injury, it just really kind of dwelled on it. So being back out here, it's amazing.
Coming off the bowl win, a very good offseason for you guys, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. You guys sense all that around the program?
We seen this like from when Beamer was coming in beforehand. Like he came in and told us he said we're not building for 2-3 years down the road. We're building for right now. And we kept to that and we stuck to that. So you seeing the results right now.
Yourself as a player now compared to last year, how would you describe how much you've come along since a year ago?
I'd just say more complete, focused, a lot more vocal. I say just those aspects of those things I improved on and I worked on a lot during the offseason.
You look at the secondary, you lose a terrific safety in Foster. You replace him with a terrific safety in Reed. You're an older group. All you guys have played a lot. How good can the secondary be, you think?
We always got aspirations of being the best in the nation, the best in the SEC, stuff like that. But just being a whole complete defense, we're not really worried about just us, because us being together and us being number one in the SEC, that ain't gonna win you games, stuff like that. Like it's being a whole team defense, making sure the whole team is together. We running the ball, we stopping the run and we stopping the pass, so we making sure we good on both sides of that. We can end up sixth in passing and like third in stopping the run and be first in the nation. First in the SEC, so stuff like that. Like it don't really the accolade was great, but it don't really pertain to nothing about the team defense. Really.
What is Coach Gray going to be asking of you?
Really, he just gonna be just the same thing he been asking me, just to go out there and ball, just make sure I stay vocal, and that's really just mostly all the stuff he was telling me, just stay vocal, because I ain't really a talker and stuff like that. And coming from corner and moving inside the nickel and stuff like that, I got to talk to a lot more people that I really don't even talk to, or I really wouldn't even interact with any other time during the play or something like that. So just being more vocal and being more energized out there, not coming out flat, making sure everybody else got energy.
Are you kind of where you thought you would be when you came here out of high school, being talked about as one of the top corners available in the draft, potential All-American, potential All-SEC type player? Is this about what you were thinking?
Yes, sir. Everybody has those high goals for themselves. They make sure that. But sitting right now, yeah, I can say I'm not happy with how everything went, but like God is how the plan that God had for me. So I just make it work and be grateful for the things that He has allowed me to do.
And when you guys get together and talk about the season, I mean, you see where the media puts you fifth in the preseason in the East. Do y'all look at that and kind of laugh, or do you say, what's the deal here?
Man, that's what they get. That's what they get paid for. I mean, they get paid to say their opinion, their educated, I guess, educated opinion to say. So like, you ain't really within these walls. Like, we ain't really got nothing to say like to you about stuff like that, about your opinion for real.
But does this look like a fifth place team or something better? No, I cut my own interview off there. Does this look like a fifth place team or something better? I think his answer was, if I remember, was that's for y'all to decide. If it looks like a fifth place team or whatever the media happen to vote them to be. I mean, I don't think they're a fifth place team in the SEC East, and I'm not, drinking the Kool-Aid or anything like that, or smoking anything. I'm not inhaling the garnet, smoke or anything like that. I think they're a better team than a fifth place team in the SEC East.
And they may very well be, but it's not for us to decide. No, that it's for them to prove that they're not a fifth place team. That's what the media at least voted for. I appreciate Cam Smith being a little humble, but hey, step up and say, no, we're not a fifth place team. I'm going to show you starting September 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Got to go play well. Got to go play clean football. Got to score some points. Can't be averaging 21, 22 points a game. They got to take that. I'm not going to say double it, but I mean, they need to get into the 30s. They should be an offensive that's averaging, 33, 35 points per game. Defense was good last year, surprisingly good, maybe better than expected. They do lose their couple of defensive ends that were really good, especially Inabare. They're going to miss him, but and they're going to miss Foster at the back end. But I mean, everybody else in between pretty much is back and should be better. So I expect the defense to be even saltier than it was last year. I'm going to say it again. I said it the other night. They've got players at their positions who will be better than the players that they'll be facing. And that's how you win these games. Mm-hmm. I mean, across the board. They won't run into too many teams that will have a better quarterback or a better wide receiving group or a better running back room or better tight ends. The offensive line is still – that's TBA. That's to be announced. That's to be determined, TBD. They got to show us something. It's the same group that was out there last year, the second year around under Greg Atkins in this offense. They should benefit from that. They should definitely be improved. But, I mean, those other positions, I think they're as good as practically everybody they'll face on their schedule.
Is it fair, in your guys' opinion, to think that we will know the answer to how good this Gamecock team will be after week 3? And what I mean by that is after playing Arkansas on the road, Georgia at home, depending on how those two games in particular go, and of course Georgia State to open the year, but especially those two SEC games, is it fair to think that if they keep those games close or go 1-1 or even win both, we should expect amazing things from this team? But if they happen to lose both of those and they're not necessarily close in the fourth quarter, do you think that we will see improvement after that, or is it fair to think those two games will make or break the season?
Well, that's a good question. I think the politically correct answer is, you get better as the season progresses, and if they go 0-2 to open the SEC season against those teams, it'll be like, okay, we still got 6 more games to go. We got a chance to turn this thing around, and the schedule is a little bit better on the back end, SEC wise. I think a little bit better on the back end than it is on the front end. When you look at Arkansas, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Kentucky as your first 4, and Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, and Florida as your second 4. I think the second 4 looks a little more manageable than those first 4, which means if you can somehow split the first 4, or maybe even go 3-1, let's say, if you're good enough, that does set you up for maybe having a special season with what you've got to finish with in the league. The question is, can they do that?
And Pat's question is I think, really spot on, because if USC comes out and gets hammered on the road at Arkansas and then comes back home and lays an egg against Georgia, you know what the narrative's going to be. That's the same old USC football team. Forget all the hype we heard about from July all the way up to kickoff of the Georgia State game. It's the same team. They're probably going to win 5, 6 ball games. But if they go out and somehow, as you pointed out, split those two, or even, gosh, could you imagine what would happen if they come off that Georgia game at 3-0? You may not be able to put a lid on Columbia the way everybody would be so excited. So I think you can get a really good gauge as to where they are midway through September because of
the place
what
would be on fire. If that were to happen, the place would be on fire. All right, after the break, we're going to catch up with Dabo Sweeney, who just talked with the media a few minutes ago after their practice. And did you tell me scrimmage tomorrow or scrimmage Saturday? What'd you tell me?
Scrimmage Saturday. They put on pads tomorrow.
All right, pads.
Fun day for players.
So they start separating the men from the boys.
Indeed.
Put the pads on tomorrow, and then the scrimmage. Saturday will be a big day, coverage-wise, because we'll have Clemson scrimmaging. That's right. They scrimmage Saturday morning, and South Carolina scrimmages Saturday afternoon. So we'll be covering both of those on our website on Saturday. And we'll be back. Dabo Sweeney coming up.
Peanuts and baseball, the perfect pair. There's nothing better than enjoying a bag of crunchy, great-tasting in-shell peanuts washed down with your favorite beverage of choice while cheering on your baseball team. This summer, grab a bag or two of delicious protein-packed Virginia Carolina's grown in-shell peanuts. America's favorite snack and America's favorite sport. A match sure to please. This message is brought to you by Virginia Carolina's peanut farmers. To learn more about peanuts, visit the website aboutpeanuts.com. That's right, aboutpeanuts.com. Enjoy a bag of peanuts today.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I love sports, and I've helped people for over 30 years. Contact me at jim@jimcorbettattorney.com when the insurance company won't pay your claim or you have complicated issues. Some other business causes your business to lose money, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. When you lose a relative and find out you got cut out of a will or don't get what was promised. When you have serious injury, like from a wreck or mishap or on the job, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com.
Life, it has its ups and downs. Sometimes it's little things like hitting every red light or dropping your cell phone. Maybe it's the bills, rent, or pressure at work. But when it comes to the South Carolina Education Lottery, you should never feel like playing will solve everything. The lottery is a game. It's played for fun. So set a dollar amount. Expect not to win and make sure responsibilities, family, friends, and work come first. Visit playresponsiblysc.com.
Continuing the sports talk tonight from South Carolina State, our final minutes from here at Dawson Bulldog Stadium. It's a quiet Dawson Bulldog Stadium, but it's going to be nice with that new scoreboard they're going to be putting in here before the season. Big, bright, fresh, and new. Clemson's getting a huge new scoreboard as well, and South Carolina's put in LED lights around its stadium. I imagine at some point in time the Gamecocks will do something. I think they are doing something with their scoreboard in the near future, right? Aren't they doing something with their video board? Are they doing that this year with their video board?
I think the LED lights may have been the only thing, but you may be right. I'm just curious how much longer it's going to be at SC State before they are playing on Buddy Pugh Field.
Once he's buried underneath there, I guess they'll call it his field.
See, that's what's always wrong about this stuff. I mean, at least let him enjoy the honor before he's.
I imagine at some
gone.
time that will happen. I mean, is the field is Kendrick? Is the field already named for Coach Jeffries? No, it is. Yeah, the field's already named for Coach Jeffries.
Field. Okay.
Yeah. So you can't be bumping Coach Jeffries now. Come on.
No, I get that.
Yeah. And I don't think he wants it to be known as Coach Jeffries and Coach Pugh Field. I don't think Coach Jeff would go for that. He said, I'm here first. I got it going. You just continued what I
think
started.
that's fair.
So,
No, and
Yeah,
I overlooked that. Well, they've got to find something over there to honor Coach Pugh. Go put a statue
Oh,
of
they
him
will.
up front of the
they
building
will
there.
when the time comes. All right, here's Dabo Swinney. He met with the media just a few minutes ago after the Tigers wrapped up their practice session today. Let's take a listen.
Well, Coach, you've been in Shell for a couple of days now. Are you excited about being out in Derby tomorrow morning and getting full pads on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different game when you get the pads on, and we put them, as you said, 2 days ago, and you add the physical element to what's been going on mentally, and so we've had 5 days of installation. Things are starting to pile up. You got a lot of guys sore. You start to get banged up a little bit, but it's been good. It's been good. Now it's that time of camp where we kind of, we challenge them in a different way, from the timing of practice to where we practice. It's just kind of a part of what we do around here, and building our team and really creating the mentality that I think you got to have, and appreciating what you do have as well. So, it's been a lot of competitive. I think yesterday 10 straight periods of competitive work. Today 10 periods of competitive work. So mixing it up, we're not just going ones on ones. I mean, we're mixing it up and challenging guys. You got to be ready. But obviously got 3 groups repping on both sides, trying to get as many guys on tape as we can, and just really building everything towards Saturday. So we've got a lot of third down, we've got some green zone, some red zone, obviously a lot of base down stuff, and then tomorrow we'll do some short yards and goal line. Tomorrow will be the first time we get any live work. So the last 2 days it's been physical, but all thud, trying to stay on your feet. And but tomorrow, first full padded day, and we'll have a little bit of live work, just for the first time, as far as getting on the ground, and then Friday will be a double day for us, and shells, and then a jog through that night, and then go play, kind of see where we are, and see. Part of what you're trying to do is expose guys. There's some guys we know what they can do, and then others we just need to expose them. But I first thing I'll tell you guys, man, we've had our last 2 punt days have been unbelievable. That first practice may have been the worst punt drill I ever seen in my life, and it just goes to show you what a difference a day can make. I think I told y'all that next day y'all were out and they were awesome, and then today was incredible. Man, I went from no contest to now we got a 3-horse race, and I love it. My man Jack Smith won the day today. He's just bombing it. Looks like the guy that we brought in here that won the job, won the scholarship, and then Aiden has been awesome. He's had 2 good days in a row, and BT's just steady. You just count him. So I'm pretty encouraged what I've seen. Again, that first day I've pretty much think about just move it to the end of practice because it ruined my day for the rest of the day. But man, these last couple of days of punt, it's been what you want to see. So real encouraged with that part of it. That's been good.
Any injuries that are notable, or?
I mean, just got some guys banged up. A couple guys have gotten down on the ground a couple of times, but nobody that outside of Miles Oliver that's going to be like out. Miles Oliver, he had a issue with his shoulder in high school coming out, and I don't know, a few days ago it came out again. So, he's the guy we're going to go ahead and fix it because he's probably going to redshirt for us, and so we'll probably go ahead and just fix that, and that'll so we're not dealing with it down the road and get him well. A super athlete, explosive jump. Where he is on the depth chart to try to ask him to really strap it up and play and do it after season really doesn't. I think the best thing for him is to go ahead and fix it. So he's the only guy that's like out. We got a few guys, like I said, banged up, might miss a little time here and there, but nothing trending toward not playing in the first game or anything.
Miles, is that out for the year?
He's out for the year. He'll be out for the year. We're going to go ahead and do the surgery on him and fix it.
Surgery?
Great. He's a great spot. And we anticipate him being ready for Tech. So just a little cleanup.
Coach, Makuba had such a great freshman season last year. What does he need to do to take that next step?
just build on what he did, become a little more detailed. He hit a lull last year. He kind of got off to a good start, and then, if you go back and really track his year, he had a little time there where he hit the wall and kind of lost his confidence a little bit, and then he eventually kind of pushed through it and finished well. But so just really building on how he finished. He's a detailed kid. We're asking him to do a lot, and so we're going to need a little bit more from him this year because we'll move him around some, and just really become a little more vocal for us. Last year, you only saw him, and so you need to be a little more of a vocal leader back there as well. But just building on what he did and being detailed, eliminate some of the mistakes that he had. He's a great tackler. He is a good tackler. But, there's a few plays that probably could have made last year, and then finish on the ball. Finish on the ball because he's going to have the opportunity to do that.
What's been separating you and Mike at
all? I guess 2 days with Shells. They're all right there. Like I told y'all, I look at our backers kind of like I look at our ends and those 4 ends and 2 tackles. Between Trenton and Monte and Keith and Trotter and McGuire, they're just all 4 really good players. So not disappointing anybody. Obviously we'll have to run somebody out there first when we play. But, I don't see any situation where all those guys won't play. I'm pleased with Sergio. I think he's flashed, made some progress, and we need him to come on. Barrett's been awesome. And what we're asking him to do and doing some different things with him. So it's a good group. It's a really good group, and if they stay healthy, that's going to really serve us well because I think we'll be able to really play all those guys in any situation, which hadn't always been the case.
With Trey out of it, any of the other guys really kind of taking advantage of that situation?
Just gets more reps for all of them. Gives a young guy like Caden Story an opportunity to get more reps, and certainly, Peyton and K. Bart and ET, just gives them just one less guy in there, so they're all taking advantage of the work, and it's good for them.
DJ spent some time working on his footwork and other mechanics during the off season. What have you seen in that realm, just sort of so far?
It's been really good. He's so much. First of all, he's faster. He's made several plays with his feet that I don't think he would have made last year. It's been very noticeable. But he's very confident. He really understands. He's a high football IQ guy. He really understands, where to go with the ball. But just very, you can tell he's worked really hard. He's very conscientious of his fundamentals. And he's hard on himself, prays himself every day. He's been good.
All right, Dabo Swinney from earlier today after the Clemson practice. So they'll be getting after it tomorrow in full pads and then looking ahead to their scrimmage on Saturday. South Carolina returns to practice tomorrow as well. Gamecocks, they should be in the full pads as well by tomorrow, I think, based on the number of days they've already practiced. They're getting ready for their scrimmage on Saturday, too. So we keep grinding along here in the preseason, and we will be tomorrow night over at Newberry College. You talk about a team defending a championship. That will be the Wolves of Newberry. Thanks to Kendrick Lewis, Coach Pugh, and the players here at State. Final thoughts, Chris?
Oh, just excited to have the Palmetto Pigskin Tour back. Thought the guys at SC State really set the bar pretty high. Newberry's got some work cut out for them tomorrow.
And we'll see what they can do. Look forward to being over there. And then Benedict on Friday. And thank you, Pat, for pulling it all together. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.